Hello, everyone. I'm Celeste Hackett, and I'm a board-certified hypnotist. And I have a client here with me. She actually got done with all of her sessions, and she's going to tell you a little bit about her experience. And I really wanted her to come and talk to you today because she's just fun. You know, she's a fashionista, and so actually I'm dressed up with my new shirt from Walmart.
Discount fashionista.
Just in time. Discount shirt. So, but she has a blog where she writes about fashion, and it's also very, very inspiring. And I wanted to inspire her to make some changes in her life, but she ended up inspiring me. So now I like to go to her blog and everything, and I think you will too. We're going to tell you a little bit about it at the end of this very short program. So, first of all, what I want to know is, what is your name?
Laurie.
Okay, that's good enough for now.
Laurie Goen.
Oh, there we go. All right. I didn't know how much personal information you want. Some people just like to
I'm
use
an open book.
There we. She's like me.
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing to hide.
This is why we have such good rapport.
For the most part.
For the most part. Anyway, so I want to know about that.
I got my little crevices.
We have ways of learning. Okay, so she called me and asked me if I could help her with something, and I want you to tell your story about your life and how you got to that point where you called me. What was going on?
Well, I mean, I think it had been about 5 or 6 years that I had noticed that it's not an alcoholic, but I guess somebody has an issue with alcohol. Like I didn't know, or I knew better when I was not drinking when to stop. But I think a lot of people could probably relate to this. But
yes.
Once you've had a few, then your judgment is off. Well, enter in 2 teenage boys, and unfortunately, I hate to admit it, but they've seen me inebriated a few times, and that alone is not good. Dr. Phil would be like having a field day with me on that one.
Dr. Phil.
He's always ringing in my head. And then, I kept trying and saying, I'm not going to do that again. I'm only going to have a certain amount, blah, blah, blah. And then here we are 5, 6 years out, and I'm still doing it. And then it got bad when I couldn't remember. Like, people were having to tell me, like, certain things. Well, do you remember you said that? And I'm like, oh, no. And sometimes it would be embarrassing things for my kids especially.
Mom.
So one day I just woke up and I said, no more. I want to get hypnotized because I've been hypnotized before. I told you that.
I didn't remember that.
For public speaking.
Oh.
Because that always bothered me since 5th grade when I crashed and, had a meltdown trying to do a book report in 5th grade. And it trailed me my whole life and it really bothered me. So finally I said, I'm going to tackle this. And around that time I wrote a book, and so it just all worked out.
Tell them about your book. Quick detour.
Sorry. So it was published in October 2013, and I worked on it for 3 years. And it's basically my heart and soul is in this book. There's a very long chapter on worry and anxiety, and but it's about most of my life. My worry problems, infertility, all this stuff, meeting the love of my life and having our kids. But then the second half of the book is what inspired me to write, which is when my son Blake, he was 7 years old at the time, and he contracted not meningitis but encephalitis. Have y'all ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
From some unknown virus. We'll never know how he got it. Wow. That's where it gets into your brain, and it turned into an autoimmune disease, long story short. And it was like a 5 or 6 month ordeal that almost took me, tested my faith. Mm-hmm. So that's what inspired the book. So the second half of it is about that.
Sounds like a good book.
But about the public speaking, it had nothing to do really with me writing the book. It's just something that bothered me that I wanted to tackle. Same thing. I woke up one day and I said, we got to make a change. Mm-hmm. And I knew that hypnosis had worked before. Mm-hmm. But I had not gone to you. I had listened to the CDs and that kind of stuff.
So you were listening to recordings of a hypnotist talking to you?
Yes, but also I was in the chair, but then they sent me home with and I only think I had like maybe 2 or 3 sessions or whatever. But it was nothing like going to you, Celeste.
Thank you. Hypnotists do hypnosis differently. So the hypnosis is a state of mind that you go into, which is a highly suggestible state, which just means when you're in that state of mind, a hypnotist can give you a suggestion. If you accept it, it can have an effect on you. So once a hypnotist gets you in that state of mind, there's a lot of different kinds of things that the hypnotist can do to help you move into a better state of mind and thus reacting and responding differently in your life. So her hypnotist was what I would probably call a direct suggestion hypnotist. They get you in a hypnotic state and they say to you, you're no longer doing this and you're doing this and you're feeling this and you're not feeling that. And they maybe have you visualize that, I'm assuming, that kind of thing. And then it's played over and over again, and it can be, in some cases, quite good, quite effective, yes. The way I do hypnosis is I'm more of a root cause hypnotist, because that kind of stuff, although it lasted for you, sometimes it doesn't last because the underlying causes haven't been dealt with. And so, for instance, I knew somebody who had that kind of hypnosis done, and they had a fear of flying. And then they were feeling so great because, the hypnotist did help them feel better. But then in the middle of a long flight, all their fear came back suddenly. It's like the Band-Aid came off because the underlying reason why they had the fear wasn't dealt with. So my hypnosis is I go to root cause and fix it that way, which is more intense, wouldn't you say? But you learn so much about yourself. You just get these aha moments, and I think it's pretty good. But you tell me what you think.
I don't know. I think by the time you call a hypnotist, you're going to be open. And that's when it's most effective, is when somebody's open to the process. And even then, I had a hard time when it came down to my mother, remember?
Yeah, tell me about that, because it's been a while
They were
now.
taking me through the womb. It was just hard for me to get to that place, but I eventually was able to. Because it's not something you do every day. You do, but most people don't think, well, think back when you were 6 months in the womb. I'm like, I don't think I can remember. You resist
right.
it.
A lot of people try to remember. That's the problem. They're trying to remember, and you can't remember this. We actually use a different part of the mind so that you can be there. And when you're really there, you get real information. Do you remember you had an aha moment in the womb? Most likely, probably.
It was something to do with the fact that she was so busy working full time, and she just couldn't give me the kind of nurturing that I needed. Because I'm a very sensitive soul. I've always been that way. And as a little girl, I always called myself a latchkey kid. She worked full time, my dad did. So, I walked home, let myself in. I Love Lucy was my friend. My TV was my friend. And I really needed a stay-at-home mom. But, why. I'm not whining. I'm just saying that would have been good and beneficial. But because she wasn't there, and I had these issues and worry issues, it would make me anxious about when she was due to get there. And if she wasn't there, I'm thinking, oh my God, am I going to lose her? It started so early.
Oh, yes. And this really started in the womb then, is what
and
you're
that's
saying.
what you had said.
That uneasy feeling.
She had the uneasy feeling. And I took that on, which was a new concept that I hadn't ever thought of before, actually.
When a mother is carrying a child, sometimes, not always, so don't worry about this, moms, because you can't know. If you're going through something that makes you stressed or nervous, what we found with the type of hypnotism that I do is that the child can start feeling that too, and then it's because they're a part of the mother at that point. So your stress is their stress, and then it can be the beginning of problems in the future. But people are going to have the beginning of their problems anyway somewhere, because that's what we're here for. We're born to learn something, which means you have to have a challenge. That's right. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely been a journey. It's funny because being 50 now, 52. Yeah, I'm 52. You know how you start kind of like making yourself older when you get because you're
try to get ready for it, right? Yes.
Yeah, mentally ready for it. I'm finally at that place where I just, oh my God, you don't care what other people think.
That's nice.
There's still issues, like kids and life and that kind of thing, but I'm not creating my own anymore like I used to. My own issues. It's not all internal. It's usually external things that I'm having to deal with.
Right.
As opposed to the mental torture of being hard on yourself, caring too much what other people think.
Right. And your blogs are all about being inspired like that. She was reading me some of her poems that she wrote. Could you read that second one?
Okay. Talk for a second and I'll pull it up.
I love this poem. It is called
And I'm going to have to put on glasses.
Right?
It's called At Night.
It's called At Night. And when you hear this poem, you are going to relate to this poem, because have you ever just been at night when everything's quiet, maybe no one's there, or you're up alone, and all of a sudden the mind starts going, And so she's just got a real way with words and how to make everything come together, so that you're inspired and you kind of can relate to what she's talking about. And then that, of course, makes everything just, what are you doing that for, honey?
10 minutes.
We're at 10 minutes?
Oh gosh, we might have to go over.
We might have to.
Or are we not going over?
This might be a mini-series.
That's okay. It's almost there.
We're
I'm sorry.
almost there. We're having too much fun. There it is. Here it is. At night.
Ready. And I look like a grandma, and that's okay, because I can't see. All right. At night. It's quiet at night before I sleep. This is when my thoughts go deep, of the pains, the joys, and what lies ahead, echoes of meaningful words that were said, of all that is and that which isn't, the things I've done and those I didn't, what I can and can't control, and all that lies within my soul, whom I love and hold so dear, and all that's in this world to fear. I ask the Lord for strength and grace, for peace no matter what I face. A calm begins to still my heart. At last I rest. How great thou art.
Laurie's a very spiritual person.
It's a poem prayer.
It's so beautiful. It's a poem prayer. That is a good way to put it.
Yeah,
so you can read that and be praying at the same time. And your blog is, what is that blog called?
River Through My Heart, which is the same, the name of my book, and it's on Facebook.
Cool.
So I also, I take from like anything I see on Facebook or whatever that it's very inspirational, and I'll just put that and share it. And it's kind of like my little corner of the universe where I can put positivity out there.
And you have what, 4,000 subscribers?
Almost. I have like 3,800 and something. So that is my little ministry.
It is a ministry. It's awesome.
I should do more with it. But
you should. But just real quick, tell them what the Ross blog
okay,
is
so
about.
then I have my fun side, my whimsical fun side, and my middle name is Louise, so Wheezy is derived from that. So when I go to shopping at Ross, I found that it's really interesting. Most places don't have the things that they have. They have some really out of the ordinary stuff. So I start playing with that, and I use my word art is what I call it, to make little taglines that are either funny or inspiring with what I see. So it's almost like an adventure when I go shopping at Ross. Like, for instance, I might take a picture of, like they have a picture of Greece behind me or something, and I'll just stick my head up there, and you'll see that in the background. So I'm enjoying myself in Greece, but whatever. I just kind of have fun with whatever. And so it's called Rossing with Wheezy, and I'm on Instagram and on Facebook.
What I like about it is, there's a lot of negativity about shopping for therapy and spending too much money, and she just makes it fun. And a lot of times you're not even buying stuff; you're just kind of window shopping and taking pictures. I end up getting things,
but it's so inexpensive there that it's not like a bad habit to have, because this would probably be like $10.99.
Right, I've been there. You know what I mean? Because of you, I've been there now. Because I don't ever go shop. I'm not a shopper.
You have to be in the mood to kind of like look, though. It's not all presented for you, which that's what you have to get through. But yes, you can do that.
Yes. I'm a hypnotist. I can hypnotize myself. Okay, now tell me what you got out of the hypnosis session so we can wrap this up.
Well, okay, sorry.
No, that's okay.
So I have not been inebriated since. I have never got drunk. I hate to use that word.
How long has it been now?
Gosh, hasn't it been at least 2 or 3 months?
I guess so. I cut my bangs earlier, and there's a hair right here.
Is that bothering you? I don't see it because I can't see anything up close, so we're good.
I knew you would understand. Okay, go ahead. So you haven't been inebriated for about 6 weeks now.
I've had a nice little buzz, but that we can handle.
You can handle that. You can remember everything that happened.
Isn't that why people drink? Because they want to have that little...
They want to feel relaxed a lot of times.
Relaxed.
Usually they want to relax from something that has been happening in the day or in their life, like stress. But let me ask you this question. Was there anything that was surprising about the hypnosis? And we'll just wrap up after this.
No, not really. Just that I met that was surprising. It was a nice surprise that we hit it off so well and made each other laugh, and you laugh at my jokes and I laugh at yours. So that's been a nice surprise. You're just really good at what you do.
Thank you very much.
Very good at what you do.
And also, would you recommend this?
Of course I would recommend it.
How did you choose Family First Hypnosis?
I actually went online. Yeah. I think that's kind of like today's phone book.
Yes, it
right?
is,
And then I also looked at your videos. I watched a whole 20-minute video, I think, where it explained how we all go into self-hypnosis naturally, like when you're on the highway and you miss your turn or whatever. That's you basically, and then you wait 10 miles out, where am I?
Yeah.
So we do that anyway. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's not any hocus pocus,
So if somebody wants to try hypnosis, you would say?
Oh, I would definitely recommend it because it's worked for me 2 times in my life.
Woohoo! All right, any final things you want to say before we shut this down?
Just that I'm glad that I did go to you, and it was very helpful and effective, and I would actually... I would love for some of my family members to go too.
Well, that's why it's called Family First.
And I have a big mouth, so I will tell everybody about.
Oh, thank you
so
much.
And I have already.
I appreciate it. Running a small business, you got to get all the help you can, and word of mouth is still the best advertising. So I like it when my clients come and talk about their experiences. It helps people because a lot of people don't even know this is an option, and there are so many people out there suffering with things they really don't need to be suffering with.
Well, they're stuck. A lot of people are stuck. It's making them miserable, and you don't have to be miserable.
That's right. Okay. Well, we're done for now. Thank you for visiting with us.
Bye.
Make sure you check out her blogs. All right. Bye-bye.
That was so...